I want us to grow wild and to respect the wild parts of ourselves and the wild parts of the people and the animals and the plant kingdoms that surround us. So I had so much judgment and criticism and like, oh, I'm good, I'm a good girl. Oh no, I don't have enough water. I think I would say the main tip, just say like, I'm freaking nervous. A bit of selfish need. I really have fun by myself sometimes. A little weird. And then you fill it up with tasty juice. Elderberries. How do I do this to earn my money? I'm working a little bit. Okay, last question and then I'll probably head home. Hello! So, wow, look at this. Okay, so today I thought I'm gonna answer some of the questions that you asked me on Instagram and here on YouTube about knitting, life in general, this channel. Yeah, sorry, I'm just gonna keep foraging blackberries while I talk. I'm biking to town. It's kind of warm, but there is a nice breeze. I'm back into town. I need to deal with some bureaucracy, so I'm going there. And I thought, let's just answer some of your questions while I do my own chores, and you can just, you know, relax and knit with me. I've received beautiful questions and many. I don't know if I'll manage to answer all of them. I should get going. So I arrived to the little town here and I've done all of the things I needed to do, and now I'm finally taking a break and knitting a little. I'm using this beautiful self-striping yarn. I just cast it on a pair of socks, and this is the Regia yarn. I'll put the color on the screen because I don't remember. And I'll answer the first question. How much do you spend on yarn in average per month? So I don't really know how much I spend, but recently I did a big purchase, and with big purchase I mean I spent about €100 of yarn because I needed to buy the yarns for a sweater that I'm knitting for Mike. So I bought that yarn and I spent about €100, plus I bought this one which cost probably $5, something like that. Yeah, so I don't really spend so much. Like when I say big purchase, that's the amount I kind of spend, like €100. Because I don't have a huge budget for yarns, I don't spend so much money on yarns. I was super lucky and I received a beautiful package about 2 months ago by a knitting friend, Ali. She gifted me so many skeins of beautiful yarns that she had in her stash. So I am still working using her yarns, and I was super lucky, so I didn't have to buy new yarns, but now the winter is coming and I have some project planned, so I think I will spend a bit more money. So yeah, I don't spend super much. I would love to try, you know, beautiful like skeins of yarns from indie dyers and ethically made yarns. I would love to do that, and I'll get there. I promise, I'll get there. Let's go with the second question. Do you have a favorite knitting needles or tools? I do. I don't have like a lot of knitting needles. I kind of like circle the ones that I have, but I absolutely love my AD circular needles in metal. I love them. I have just one pair, and it's the needle size 4mm, so it's a kind of a needle size that I really like. And every time I need to knit a project with needle size 4mm, I always pick those ones. I love to knit with them. The cable is super soft, but also like strong, and it stays on, you know, on the little ends of the needles. Sometimes the cables, if they're not really good quality, they kind of slip out, but I love them. Those are kind of my favorite. And then recently I've been exploring wooden knitting needles, and I have few that I really love. But yeah, those are my favorite knitting needles, I guess. And tools, oh, I don't. I think I don't have many knitting tools, I guess. I want to make needles for sewing the project together or for weaving in ends. I want to make them in wood, so that's something that I really would like to do, because I think it would be so cute. But yeah, that's about it. Okay, last question, and then I'll probably head home or get some food. Do you have yarn stock which you don't like anymore and you don't know what to do with? I absolutely do. My love, I do. I have a few, you know, skeins, like little leftover skeins that I didn't really enjoy to knit with, and they're just standing there in my stash and bugging me. But I think at some point I'll do some sort of like bag. I was thinking to do like a scrap yarn bag with my crochet hooks, or maybe even like with chunky knitting needles, and kind of like hold together different strands of different leftover skeins that I have, and I'll put one of those skeins that I don't like in there. Sometimes I guess the most intelligent thing to do is to maybe do a little yarn swap with someone and let that person know, like, these are the things that I maybe don't really use or don't really like, do you want them? So I could do that maybe in the future, we'll see. I just got Biscio. This is my favorite food, and I just remembered that I received a question about this traditional food, Biscio. Actually, I have maybe not a question, but a huge request. Can you make a recipe for video? It looks so delicious. And the question, have you tried to dye some yarn with natural plant pigments? I did try to dye some yarn with natural plant pigments. I did also a little, I remember I mentioned it during one of my podcast episodes. I tried with avocado, onion peels. I tried it. It's really amazing. I want to do more in the future. But regarding the recipe for the Biscio, it's a super simple recipe. I'll do it probably in the future. We'll see. It's absolutely one of my favorite dishes. So, but essentially it's just like a very thin dough made with water, salt and flour. That's it. You kind of make it really flat and thin, and then you fill it up with fried or saute ingredients, such as the traditional one has bieta and cicoria, which is chicory and beets leaves. So these are kind of like wild plants. So it's absolutely amazing that people around here still use like forage wild plants to create their traditional dish. And you just like saute it and that's it. So, and then you bake it for 25 minutes. Easy. Gonna knit a couple of more rows and then head on. Bye! I am collecting some elderberries from these beautiful trees. I finally found an elder tree, or like many elder trees actually, that are pretty healthy and have a lot of water. They are growing down there. There is a little stream, so they get enough water to produce juicy elderberries, so I can make some delicious I managed to arrive home, take a shower, relax, eat and stuff, and now I'm pickling cucumbers. My neighbor gave us so many cucumbers, so I'm just pickling them with water and salt, a bit of vinegar and some crazy spices and things. We'll see how this recipe will end up. So I figure while I'm here pickling, I'll answer to another question. So I've received many questions related to what I do for a living in terms of making money, I guess. Some people ask me, what do you do for a living? Some people ask me, do you do YouTube as your job, or do you do other work on the side too? Things like that. So how do I do this? I figure let's answer all of these questions in one big answer, if I manage, and if we have enough battery, we'll see. I'm drinking some sour cherry juice. It's not red wine, but it's super delicious. So, what do I do for a living? At the moment, my sources of income are various. I do occasionally some video editing for little companies that need to have a video to promote themselves. Very occasionally though, some graphic design work occasionally, and YouTube. Yes, it's a little source of income, but it's not enough, at least not right now. I really wish it to be my main source of income in the future, maybe, because it's just so fun for me, and it feels a little like one part of me is still kind of judgmental towards the parts of me who really want to do YouTube full time, because it could be a bit shallow to just be like, oh, I just want to do YouTube, you know? But what does that really mean? It gives me the opportunity to live my life and share the things that I do during my normal everyday life and share them with you and have fun doing that, you know? It still requires a lot of work, at least the way I want to do it. But it's just so fun and rewarding up until now. It has been, at least. And yeah, YouTube has many negative aspects. For example, the main one I would say is the fact that it makes you focus on the numbers so much that you kind of like forget what is actually important. So you really focus on the quantity rather than the quality. And yeah, it wants you to keep uploading, keep pushing, keep, you know, adding and adding content and so on. And that's basically what most social media and like any, I would say any capitalistic system, look at the quantity rather than the quality. But I'm really aware when I do that. I'm really aware when I stress about numbers and try to shift that into, am I enjoying this? Am I enjoying the content that I'm creating? And am I enjoying filming this or making this? And if the answer is yes, then the numbers don't really matter so much. But it's important to check with ourselves and, you know, be aware of all of these things. So, and I'm adding some lemon just for fun. And so yeah, that's kind of my answer. And then I also sell some little things online, like wooden creations, like stitch markers, handmade wooden buttons, and jewelries that we make. So I would also like to do more of that, and they're coming. For those who ask me, will you make more of your gorgeous buttons? Yes, we will. That's something that we absolutely are working on, and that's also something that gives us a lot of joy. 2 jars in. Done it. So yeah, that's where we are at. And of course, we don't have so many expenses. Our rent, we're renting at the moment, our rent is really low. Fortunately, our expenses are also pretty low. So for now, we can manage with all of these little sources of income. Mika is working occasionally as well as a web developer. So we are kind of like getting some money from different sources. But I really would like YouTube to be my main source of income and continue, you know, sharing things that I like and all of that. I remember when I was at university, I was doing a project and a tutor came up to me and said, remember, your projects, all of them, are not about reach, are about depth. So focus on the depth and the quality of what you want to communicate rather than on how many people you are reaching. Don't think about that. I was so happy to feel, to receive this feedback and be kind of validated, even if I don't actually need to be validated. But like at that time, I really needed someone to really see the value in what I was doing. And when he said that, I was like, thank you so much. So that really stuck with me, and I always think about that when I'm like getting stuck with numbers and be like, they're not enough and blah blah blah, bullshit like that. So I really want to focus on the quality of the things that I'm making, and yeah, focus on that rather than how many people I reach, and also like the beautiful feedbacks that I get from beautiful people that are here, maybe even watching now. Like, I cannot thank you enough, and that is enough. Like, the love and the support that I receive from people is enough, but at the same time I gotta be also a bit like, I need to earn money, you know. I need to support my family, and I need to buy the things that I want to buy. So I also need to focus on that. So I really would like YouTube to work, to be honest. But as I said, there are parts of me that I need to have a conversation with about this feeling of like, it's kind of like a shallow job to want to do that full time. But a lot of the creators that I really respect and love. There are maybe YouTubers, I absolutely love them and I absolutely look up to them, and so I don't think it's shallow if you put your art on and if you enjoy it. There are questions that are kind of related, so I'm gonna kind of reply to them. So, what inspired you to make a YouTube channel? How did you grow it? I don't know if I grew it. It kind of grew by itself. But what inspired me, like, I always loved YouTube. Like, there is so much crap, but if I need to learn something, I check stuff on YouTube. If I need to understand how things work, maybe like a mechanical issue, I Google it and then I check YouTube. If I want to be entertained, YouTube has always been my main source of entertainment, and I absolutely love it. Of course, there is a lot of crap and blah blah blah, but I really like it. So I kind of oh no, I don't have enough water. Yeah, so I kind of thought maybe I should just try, I should just see what happens. I was really like judgmental towards anything that I was saying or doing. So it took me a hot minute before being like, let's just do it. And I don't know if it was worth it to wait so long, because I've been wanting to do it for a long time. I kind of uploaded some videos earlier, like maybe 2 years ago or something, about our traveling and, things that would happen to us, but I didn't really put enough intention and quality on them. So it was mostly to share them with our families and friends. But I really, really wanted to do it. And there was always this judgmental voice like, why do you want to do this? This is just crap, and it's so shallow and naive to wanting to do YouTube. So I had so much judgment and criticism towards me doing YouTube that I would prevent myself from doing it. And I didn't do it for so long, so it wasn't fun to kind of battle between the parts of me that really wanted to do it and the parts of me that were like, that's crap, take something serious, In the end, the parts of me that really wanted to share things and be like, fuck it, let's do it, just won. And I uploaded an episode of my knitting podcast, and people liked it. Some people really liked it, and I was like, people liked it, people comment and click subscribe. Like, I was really excited, like 100 subscriber excitement, 1,000, oh my god, party. Like, I was really, really happy. So thank you so much. You made my life on YouTube worth it to continue to exist, I guess. So it was really fun to realize that it's okay to post things on YouTube. You don't have to be perfect. And what I don't know how it grew, because I don't think we are many here. Don't get me wrong, but we're still kind of a little community, and people still, I think, watch my videos. I think because I'm doing what I like, and I'm trying to be as myself as possible. Sometimes I'm still trying to be perfect and cute and oh, I'm good, I'm a good girl. So that thing needs to be worked on. But I think the more authentic and the more yourself you are, and the more you have fun with it, the more people enjoy your presence on your channel. I think. unless you are a complete crazy genius, or unless you are very good at whatever you do. I don't know if you know what I mean, but I don't think I'm absolutely amazing with what I do. I just really enjoy what I do a lot. I want to show that. I think that what I want my channel to be, or to communicate, is you don't have to be perfect. You can be wild. You can take inspiration from something and make something completely crazy and different, but still with joy, and pleasure. I want us to grow wild and to respect the wild parts of ourselves and the wild parts of the people and the animals and the plant kingdoms that surround us. That's what I want my channel to communicate. Sorry, my neighbor just sent me a picture of puppies. Okay, so that was kind of my answer. That's what inspired me. Like, I loved YouTube and I wanted to share things and I want to give something back to the community, because I would just like consume content and then be like, maybe I can give something as well and enjoy giving that. And there is also shadow part. Like, I also need to be seen. I remember, like, before doing YouTube, I would feel very lonely when it comes to my passions and my hobbies. Like, I don't have so many friends that share the same thing that I like. We for sure like enjoy each other company. We have dinners, we chat, but I had so many conversation with people where I would maybe share something that I would make and they just changing topic or looking somewhere else and being distracted. And I'm not judging them. I'm just saying, like, I didn't have people I could just talk about my passions. So I would feel kind of lonely, and I was like, I wonder if sharing it online would fulfill my need to be listened to be seen, to be appreciated. And I figured it fulfills it. Even if I'm just looking at the camera and talking about it, feels a little sad, I guess. But this, knowing that there will be a person looking at this, and it will be a person that maybe is really interested in what I do and has the same maybe passion that I do, that is so fulfilling. Like, then I'm like, okay, I'm good for today. You can talk about your hobbies and I'll listen to with my friend. So it's also a human need to be seen and to be appreciated. The great James Hillman once said or wrote in his The Soul Code, his book, he wrote, "To be is to be perceived." And that's something that I'm kind of feeling more and more with some of the connection that I am creating through in my real life and in my online life. It's fun, but it's important to know that there are a lot of negative aspects as well. And there's a lot of stress around it, a lot of work behind the scene. Let's remember that. Do you ever get insecure about your videos or doubt yourself? Yes, I do all the time. But at the same time, if I get very insecure and like I don't like it, I'm kind of like not satisfied with what I created, then I just don't. Like, I just take a break. Otherwise, I can get a lot of insecurity and I can get a lot of like voices that are saying, no, this is crap. But if there is a big aspect of joy and satisfaction in what I do, then I follow that rather than the insecurity. If you want to do, for example, YouTube, or you want to do any other thing that really scares you, ask yourself, like, if there is a part of yourself that really wants to do it because it gives a lot of joy. is really like, oh my God, this is so fun, like really having fun. Try to lean into that rather than leaning into the insecurity. And I think it's important to see both parts, but then be like, I just choose fun today. I don't choose doubt, you know. Lessons of life with Martina. But yeah, I do really get insecure sometimes. But sometimes I have so much fun creating my videos that I'm like, even if they don't do well, even if people maybe don't look at them so much, I'm like, I had so much fun. You know, like it happens many times that I was so excited about a video and then people wouldn't really like care about it or not as much. So, been talking for a while. There was another similar question. What made you start your YouTube channel? I love the way you speak English, by the way. Thank you so much. What tips would you give to someone who is considering starting their own knitting podcast? So I kind of already gave some hint of answers to that question. I think I would say the main tip, because I'm no big podcaster here, right? So, but the main tip I would say is imagine that you have a friend in front of you. Don't think about your audience as a hostile audience. Think about your audience as someone that really cares, that really is excited to hear you. You know, it's really there to be like, yes, this is amazing. And it doesn't matter if people won't react to your videos as much as you maybe would like to in the beginning. Try to be yourself and to have fun. Like for me, that's the most important thing. Have fun, enjoy what you do. You can be nervous and you can say it, be honest. I think it's important to be honest with your audience and just say like, I'm freaking nervous, but I want to share this thing with you. Just let me know. Ask things to your audience. Maybe they will answer. And I think another important tip is, at least in my opinion, is don't expect your content or your episode or your videos to be wonderful from the beginning. Like they can be really like boring and, you know, as long as you have fun, but they can be like long and you don't have to edit so much if you don't know so much how to do it. You don't have to be a perfectionist from start. You can just try to be yourself and put content out there, and then as you continue doing it, you will get better. You will listen to the feedback that people will give you, if there are constructive feedbacks, and then you will grow. So don't be afraid, and also remember, like, ask yourself why you want to do it and be honest with yourself. Like, why do I want to have a YouTube channel? Is it because, like me, I also want to be seen? I also want to have like people that listen to me and are excited to what I do, like kind of a bit of selfish need of being appreciated? Is it because I think I'm really good at what I do and I could help people? Is it because I like the fame of being a YouTuber? I don't know. Like, it can be many, it can be many reasons why we want to start a new YouTube channel or a new knitting podcast. So, summarizing all of this, have fun while recording your videos or your episode. Really try to have fun. I know it's hard to have fun by ourselves for some people. I really have fun by myself sometimes. It's a little weird. And have fun. Try to be honest with your audience. See your audience as an audience that is excited to see what you have to show, and it's really non-judgmental. It's an audience that is really there to hug you and to be like, thank you for anything that you put out there. If you imagine your audience to be like that, you will feel more relaxed, I think. So those are my tips. And then if you want more like technical tips, I don't know, depending on the technical tips, I guess. So I've been talking for a long while now. Maybe I can answer to another question and then we'll see. Would you perhaps share your skincare and some of your favorite natural face care? You have such a beautiful skin. Also, how do you care for your cotton and linen needs? I have found mine have become stretch out and droopy. Thanks for your time. I really love your lifestyle channel. Thank you. My skin, let's not really open that chapter, because first of all, on camera you don't see so much the imperfections. Second, I have a combination skin, unfortunately, so it's neither greasy, neither dry. It's like in between, so it's crazy, my skin. And I've been having some little health issues from January. I had some little health issues, and so I had to, before I would do really minimalistic skincare routine, like using just one serum that was rosehip oil, just have that and that's it. Wash my face with water and that's it. But I realized my skin needed a little bit extra care, so I'm using some products that I researched a lot. And I'm still using some natural ingredients that I make, like rosehip oil with maybe calendula blooms infused. So it's really good to repair the skin. But I'm also using some products from The Ordinary. It's a little difficult to understand their products because they look very kind of scientific and very clinical, but there are all the informations online for the different type of skin, and I would highly recommend them. I really like that brand. It's really like on point, like it doesn't make so much fuss, doesn't make so much crazy marketing, and they're good. They're very good. And otherwise, a lot of natural skincare, but it really, really depends on your skin type, unfortunately. But maybe I'll share some recipe in the future. I've shared some recipe about skin products, skincare, so you can check on my channel. Maybe there is something that will fit you, you can see. But I would say that the most important thing with skin health is our skin is the biggest organ that we have, and it really shows if we're eating well, if we have health problems. And I think the most important thing with skincare is diet. I know it sounds a bit boring, but it's so true. Start by eating well and drinking a lot of water, and then look into The Ordinary. I really like them. I know they look really clinical, and you wouldn't expect a person like me who loves plant and herbal skincare to, lean into more clinically looking skincare products, but I really, really like them. So check them for your specific skin type. So if you have a dry skin, for example, you can Google dry skin, The Ordinary products, and you will maybe receive some information. How I care for my cotton and linen knits, I wash them with my conditioner. That's what I do, because it kind of soften the fiber. But I know when you knit with the plant-based fibers, not with all of them, but most of them become really drapey and really big. Knit them a size smaller. Yes, it's something that I figured. So if you knit something that really fits well on you and is kind of a little a little, just has a little bit of positive is, if you don't want it to get bigger, I would say knit a size smaller. I don't know. If people who are using a lot of plant-based fiber agree with me, just drop things in the comment, or if you disagree, just let us know. But that's in my experience. I'm knitting things with plant-based fibers. I'm knitting them a size smaller than my original size, or the size I want to make, because then I know they'll kind of get a little bigger, but just a little, and then they will fit perfectly. Yes, 35 minutes, my goodness. How many languages do you speak? And can you share a favorite recipe? I love you. I love you too. So I speak 3 languages. I speak Italian, of course. I speak Spanish. I'm not 100% good with Spanish, but like I understand it very well and I speak it okay. And English. And I know, like Swedish, I understand it like 75%. If people speak in Swedish, I understand it, but I practice sometimes speaking Swedish and I study a bit, but then I kind of like didn't want to bother because we were deciding to not live in Sweden anymore, so I just drop it. But I understand it, and if I stay there and if I stay with people that speak in Swedish, I could learn it a bit better. And I feel a little shame about that, but let's not feel shame. Let's not let shame creep in this video, okay? Thank you. I would like, also another person wrote me if I speak French. Let me find this video. Hello from France. Hello. Do you speak French? Have you visited France? I don't speak French. And I have a little anecdote. About 6 years ago, I went to France to do a little au pair experience. And I was taking care of 4 French kids, small ones. And I don't know why I did that. But it was crazy because I didn't know a word. Like the only word I knew was merci, s'il vous plaît, bonjour, bonsoir. Those were the words that I knew, and they only knew French. So it was so hard to communicate with them. So very hard, but I stayed there for like 3 weeks and then I left. I couldn't do it. Foreign kids, I can pour my art into them, but if we can't communicate, it's hard. So that's something that happened, but I really don't know so much French and I really would like to learn it. Maybe in the future, who knows? Like, yeah, who knows? Now I have other priorities, I guess. But I visited France. I absolutely love France. It's a beautiful country, very beautiful. And there's so much culture and beautiful architectures. But if you've never been to France, I highly recommend it. It's a beautiful country, very beautiful. So I think I'm gonna end the video here and create a real knit and chat video with the rest of the questions. One of those videos where I actually knit, because now I've been all over the place today, so I think that would be wise. So just wait for part 2, I guess. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you were entertained and you had some fun. See you next time. I'm gonna finish pickling, but I mean, we made 3 full jars. I'm gonna fill up these 2 and then we're done. The sun went down also, so thank you so much. See you next time.